Hey guys, I wanted to do a kind of a quick video today, October 16th, as I truly try to finish up this number 21 Ryan Blaney Darlington throwback scheme. A couple things that I have to do yet on it is I have to paint the rims red because this donor car didn't come with red rims, and I'll show you how I do that. It's a little weird. And I have to paint the spoiler red. So that is something that I have to do, and that'll be challenging because just the way that the red paint pen works, it's just thick, and so obviously I need to be ultra careful with painting the spoiler red, and yeah, so I'm going to use this, and I'm definitely going to use this. Another thing, I went out. As I'm working these Pertec cars, I went out this morning actually and bought this Oleum deep blue. It's a better blue that matches the Pertec cars. As I reach over here, then this is the brilliant blue over here. This is the deep blue, and you can see it's just darker, and I think that's definitely a better match to the Pertec paint scheme. So, and then one thing that's funny undoing this, right? So I had already painted these two cars over here with the brilliant blue, and I've got these primed, and I painted earlier this morning the deep blue on the bottom. That's what I do. I paint this bottom first, and then I let it dry, and then I'll paint the top. So yeah, so that's how I do that. But just for fun, I went ahead and tried to paint over top of the brilliant blue with no sealer placed on the car, just painted over it with the deep blue, and that's what happens. You get this just complete blistering effect of the paint. It just doesn't, you get it on a little too thick, and it just immediately blisters, and I'm gonna have to redip this thing. So lesson learned: if you're ever gonna apply paint over paint, and it's been over that 24-hour period or 48-hour period, what I've done in the past is I'll put a couple coats of the clear sealer on it, and that has that barrier, and then when you apply the second coat of paint or a different paint, it doesn't do this. So anyways, just wanted to show you that. I took the other car before I painted it and just dipped it in the solution, the stripper solution, to tear that up, and I'll eventually do that with that thing. Just dip it again, and there's no primer needed, even though I did prime these. There's no primer needed on that. So, but yeah, so okay, so this is what I do with when I paint the wheels. I take the red or white, or basically whatever color that I need to paint the wheels with, and it's usually white, black, yellow, red. Red's probably the one I do most on these Blaney cars. They don't always come with, the donor cars don't always come with the matching rims, and so even though I can't get the Darlington white on there on the Goodyear, where it says Goodyear Eagle, to match the Darlington car, at least I can get the rims red, and that'll again look more like what was driven on the track. So I already did 3 of them, so apologize for that, but I already did some before I started the camera, and all I do is I just take this toothpick and I put it on there. So yeah, so I already did that. So I'll show you how I do this. It's not too difficult. And I eventually know that I'm going to go back and touch this up. But, and I do want to get it in there because there's a little, like there's black inside this, this red tip of the quote-unquote axle that goes through to the other side. And I kind of hold my finger there, as you can see, on the wheel so it doesn't slip when I'm trying to paint this. And just try to get it along there. Moving it around. Trying to keep it consistent all the way around the edge. It's kind of hard to do, but... And then there's like a little recessed area in there. So I just, you know, drop it in there, move it around. I tried to spray paint one time. I taped off around the wheel, and I tried to spray paint it. That was a disaster. And I said, you know what, this is the method I'm going to use to paint the rims. So, get that up there. Oops. And like anything, when you're painting, well, maybe not like anything, but when, you know, I got a little bit outside there, I just let it dry. And after it dries, you know, I'll scrape it off very carefully, rub it off, or use a little bit of the paint thinner to get it off and to smooth it out. And that's basically it. Now, I don't normally leave this metal centerpiece red, but it's just easier to, you know, when I paint it, to paint it, because I want to get a little bit behind there, so the black isn't right behind that. But I'll just scrape it off. You know, once it dries, I'll just carefully scrape that off and get down to the metal, and it'll, you know, it'll look like a regular red rim. So that's how I do it. Not too difficult, but I don't think I've ever showed you guys how I do that in the past on my videos, so it's pretty rare. I might do that, I don't know, a couple times a year maybe. You know, maybe 4 or 5 times a year. It just depends. Just depends on the donor cars that I get and the rims, colored rims that I have. Alright, so what I kind of dread, I've got at least, I know I have at least 3 coats of sealer. And again, I don't want to grab the rims. I've got at least 3 coats of sealer around here. So if I did happen to get a little bit of the red paint on the decal, it's not the end of the world. I could be able to get it off, but I definitely don't want to do that. I want to try not to do that. So I kind of just, you know, it's on my paint pen, and I kind of get it going. Where are you? So now, actually, I'm going to get a little bit on here from what I have over here on this paper. And so now I just kind of use this to be that right along the edge. Like that. Like that. on the sides here. Okay, so that's the easy side. That's the easy side. And this is definitely a work of patience. I've got to be careful not to get too much to where it runs down on the spoiler. I've had that happen before, where you just too much paint and it runs and just kind of gets all over the place. It's a mess. So yeah. All right. So I want to obviously go along here, but I don't want to get. I want to keep this black. So let's see how this works. I'm going to go up over that. Yeah, I'm listening to Rush Limbaugh this Friday. Don't listen to him every day, but I like to get his spin on things. It's funny, he mentions a home security system. My wife and I were just talking about that the other day. We had our house broken into about, 12, 13 years ago? I had left a window unlocked. We had a cat at the time, and I had left a window unlocked because the cat, would like to get up on the windowsill and would mess around looking out, the window and just, with the squirrels and whatever else is out there. But I didn't lock it, and burglars came by, and they had they were going by a bunch of houses, and what they were doing was they were taking a utility knife and cutting the screens, and then trying to push up on the windows to see if any of them were unlocked. Well, lo and behold, ours was unlocked, and so they climbed in the window, and they didn't do any damage. They just were looking for money, and they took money out of my wallet, out of my daughter's little kid's purse. She had like $12 in there, so that was kind of sad. But then they took a bunch of DVDs and that kind of stuff, and they also took my wife's wedding ring and diamond that we had downstairs. Everything was downstairs. We were upstairs sleeping at the time. But anyways, the long story short, they were caught. They were hitting a whole bunch of houses in the area, and they were on drugs. They were doing drugs, and then they'd rob houses. That's what they did for kicks. And they're eventually caught, and we had most of our stuff returned to us, so it was nice. But once you get broken into, you always have that fear of being broken into again. And thankfully they weren't interested in doing us any bodily harm. And I kind of say thankfully, because we're gun owners, and at the end of the day, it wouldn't have been pretty if they would have come upstairs and I had heard them. But we don't have a security system, so my wife is like, we got to get a security system. So we're debating that. We've been debating it for years. This day and age, it might be a wise thing to do. I don't know. I'm not afraid, but I'm also not the only one that lives here, so. But all right. So that's basically how I do it. You saw that. Looks pretty good. I gotta be careful with my fingers touching the rims. So it looks not bad. I gotta let it dry, and then we'll see exactly how that thing turns out. If I need to put a second coat on it or not. So, but once that's done, this thing will be ready. Looking at the pictures, the front is indeed black. I was thinking there might be like a red lower valence here on the front, but no, it's black. Rims are black. Or I'm sorry, rims are red. The roof lines are black, so no change there. Yeah. So I think I see a little crinkle. I'll have to fix that. Press that in. So yeah, so I'll let that dry, and hopefully that'll be it. That car will be finished. I'm gonna take this car, and let's put this thing in the solution as well. So I took the liberty to make one of these here, adding it on the side here, and to use this blue chrome paint, which I'll tell you right now, I really, really like this paint. Really nice paint. Very impressed with it. And I'll show you the result. So this is the Rust-Oleum blue chrome. And how I got to this spot here was I was at Walmart the other day, and I bought this Chris Buescher Mustang, 2020 Mustang, which was their last NASCAR diecast they had. It was like $5. So I bought that, took it apart real quick, and dipped it. And I dipped it, wire brushed it, steel wool, and I primed it with this. If I could reach it, I primed it with this flat white primer, inside and out, of course, or top and bottom. But reading the instructions on the paint can, it said that the blue chrome will show, I guess, a shiny or more metallic finish if you use a gloss primer. Well, I don't have a gloss primer. So what I did was I put 2 coats of this clear sealer after I primed it. So it did give it a glossy finish. And then I painted it. And as you can see, I'm real happy with the way it turned out. Actually, I may have put 3 coats of the clear sealer on it. But I think this is a winner. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those, and I've never owned one. I've just seen pictures of it. Matt Kenseth had a number 6 Wyndham Rewards car that I think it was a NASCAR Authentics. They had like a chrome finish on it. So they had the regular Wyndham Rewards car, number 6, and then they had the chrome finish one. And the chrome finish one was like, I mean, I saw it on eBay go for like $40 or $50, you know, brand new, as people would, you know, pick them up at their local Walmart or Target or wherever and then sell it. You know, pick it up for $5 or whatever and then sell it, because it was so rare. But this paint looks very similar to that color, and I really like it. I really like it. This is a cool paint for, you know, a special paint scheme. And I do special paint schemes primarily. Let's say somebody asks for a particular car. I buy the decals, I make it, and then it turns out that Lionel makes that paint scheme. And so it's like, okay, well, this is no longer really a desirable car as a custom, because you can buy it from Lionel for $5 or $8 or whatever it is that you can get it for, you know. So what do I do then with those decals? Well, what I'll do is I'll make a special, you know, I'll use a special paint, and you know, usually like a gold or a silver, or you know, those are the two main ones I've done before when that happens. But this is a serious contender now. There's a little mark on the roof, but I think the 32 will cover that up. But yeah, so this is the blue chrome, and I think I saw at AutoZone a couple other colors. I think they have a green chrome and maybe a red chrome. I'm very interested in getting those. Not sure I want to spend, you know, I don't like the $11 cost for a can of paint, but if it can return a really nice, you know, car, you know, I can justify the cost, because I don't know, sometimes the cost doesn't matter to me. Sure, I mean like anybody, if you're selling stuff on eBay, you like to see it go for a decent amount of money, especially more than what you put into it. But sometimes making paint schemes like this, I don't know, I mean, I don't want to say I don't care what it goes for, I just thoroughly enjoy making it. And somebody can get a really cool, you know, one-of-a-kind paint scheme added to their collection. I don't know, that kind of excites me. It's kind of cool for me to do that. Obviously, I love making any custom, but whenever you do that with a really rare color, it's just fun, you know. I mean, it's just fun doing that kind of stuff. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna strip those cars when they're done. I'm gonna before I put this top coat on these cars, another, you know, thing I'll do is I will put a coat of clear sealer, maybe 2, because there's this, you know, because I painted the car upside down, but I also get these sides, and sometimes, just like I showed you on the other one, the paint will bubble if I don't put a coat of clear sealer. So I'll put a couple coats of clear sealer on here. It looks like the rubbed off there because it was sitting upside down when it was drying. But yeah, I'll do that. Got the spoiler trimmed down pretty well, and these Pertec cars will be nice. Looking forward to getting them done for you, Terry. I know you've been waiting for a while for these, and so yeah, looking forward to getting those done for you. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching today. Hope you're doing well, and God bless you. We'll talk to you soon in the next video.